At this point, since we have our while loop, this game will continue to run forever. However, every single time that the user takes an action, we want the user to know how much HP both the hero and the enemy has. So in order to do that, we're going to need to format this string, this selected action string, to be something different. Let's quickly create a string variable. We can just do it as so by doing display string equaling select an action and putting it right here. As you can see, this program will run just like it did before, where it says select an action. However, we can modify the string to be whatever we want. If we want to display the HP of both the hero and the enemy before each turn, which is extremely important, what we need to do is we need to add strings together. Similar to how you add numbers together, if you do something like select an plus action, then if we run the program, you will see that these strings, select and action, will be put together as one string. Just give it 1 second. However, keep in mind that it adds these two strings as if there was none of this here. So because we accidentally left out a space, there's not going to be a space there. We should keep this in mind when coding our next part. If we put a space there, then, as you can see, it corrects itself to select n and then space action. Just like that. So now, let's go see if we can't change this display string to equal something that will let our user know how much HP both the enemy and the hero has. We can do that by first saying the hero name. If we want the display string to first equal hero.name, and then we can add a space, has, and then another plus, hero.hp, plus HP left. However, because hero.hp is a number and not a string put together by these quotes, we need to put str around it to let Python know to transform this number into a string. As you can see, if we run the program now, it says our hero name has 25 HP left. Now all we need to do is modify this so that it shows us what the enemy has left. By adding the enemy name, and doing that. And while this may look long and complicated now, if we actually run the program like this, it should give us extremely valuable information. Hero has 25 HP left, and enemy has 40 HP left. Now that we have this completed, let's go see if we can't figure out the if statements. So, first what we need to do is we need to save what the actual user returned as their answer for this radio button. Whether it's attack, defend, or use potion, we will say answer equals radio. Now that we have the answer variable, we can check to see which of these three options the user chose by doing if answer is equal to attack. Now, if the answer is equal to attack, we want the enemy to be attacked by the hero. We can do this by doing enemy.hp minus equals hero attack minus enemy defense. Let me break this one down for you. Pretty much what's happening here is we're getting the enemy HP, which is currently 40, like we've seen, and then we are going to be subtracting it by the hero attack minus the enemy defense, which means that if the enemy has 0 defense, like it does up here, and the hero has 15 attack, this is going to be enemy.hp equals enemy.hp minus hero attack, so it's going to be lowered by 15. Now, for instance, let's say that the enemy did have defense. Let's just say 5 defense. In that case, we would be taking the hero attack minus the enemy defense, which would be 15 and 5, to give only 10 damage to the enemy HP, so it would only be lowered by 10. At this point, we want to let the user know that they attacked and tell the user how much damage they actually ended up doing. To do this, we are going to be doing our print, doing hero name, hit, enemy name, for, and then we're going to put how much damage was actually calculated by that thing up there. We can just simply copy this part over, put it inside the string, and then it will calculate this before making it into the string. And then we can add this last thing, damage. Now, let's see what this looks like. If we attack, it says the hero hit the enemy for 15 damage, and the enemy just lost 15 HP. Give it a shot yourself. Now, even though that we do need to do the user defends and the user uses a potion action, let's first figure out what happens when the enemy attacks the hero, because it's going to be extremely similar to this attack. First, just like we did up here, we have to do hero.hp minus equals enemy attack minus hero defense. Just like I described up here, this will lower the hero's HP by however much the enemy attack is minus however much defense the hero has. So, in this example, since the enemy has 30 attack and the hero has 20 defense, the enemy will only deal 10 damage to the hero's HP. Now, since we did this, just like before, let's do another print statement. In fact, let's actually just copy this print statement right up here and modify a little bit. So, since at this point it's the enemy who's attacking the hero, we need to change it so that enemy name hits hero name for, and just like before, we can copy this, whatever this calculated, into this. Now, let's see what our program actually runs for this. So, as you can see, hero has 25 HP and enemy has 40. If we attack, then the hero hit the enemy for 15 damage, but the enemy hit the hero for 10 damage. As you can see, we can do this again, and even one more time. the while loop ends, and the battle ends in a draw. Let's see if we can't give the hero something to defend himself with. At this point, we are going to be continuing with the different choices that the user can make. Let's do defend first. So, if the user did not take attack, we can use the elif keyword, which pretty much is, if anyone remembers the if and else, so that if this if does not resolve and the attack is not equal to answer, it would automatically go to else. Since we have three different options, we can do elif, which is shorthand for else if, and put another condition that if answer is not equal to attack, it will go here and check to see if this answer is true. We're going to here check to see if answer is equal to defend. For the defend action, what we want to do is temporarily give the hero a few extra bits of defense for this turn. So specifically, when the enemy attacks, we want to make this value a little bit higher. However, we don't really want to actually modify the hero's defense, because then we'll have to worry about lowering it after the enemy actually attacks. So all we need to do is we need to create a temporary value for temporary defense. To do this, at the very beginning of our while loop, we are going to be making temporary defense and setting it equal to 0. Now, because this is a while loop, every single time the while loop gets back to the top, and every single time that the program asks the user to pick an action, this is going to be reset at 0, which is exactly what we want. However, if the user picks defend, we are going to be putting that temporary defense equal to 10. In addition, let's go let the user know that they actually defended properly by doing print, saying the hero.name defends. Nice and easy. And so here, instead of actually modifying the hero defense, we are going to be adding together hero defense and whatever temporary defense they got for defending, so that, let's just say that the hero did defend, since they have 20 defense and the enemy has 30 attack, the hero defense, which is 20, plus the temporary defense, which is 10, would be subtracted from the enemy attack, which is 30, giving this all a total of 0, meaning that the hero takes no damage for this turn. Let's go see that in action. Like before, just double check to make sure it works. If we attack, then both the hero and the enemy will take damage. But if we defend, then it says the hero defends and the enemy hit the... that's the whole thing. That's the actual bit of a bug. What happened here is that even though that the hero didn't take any damage, this whole thing still calculated to 0. As you can see right here, if I defend, then my hero's health still stays at 25. When we print out, we forgot to calculate this new value. This is actually the value that the hero is going to be attacked by. So we can just take our old enemy attack minus hero defense and paste the new enemy attack minus hero defense plus temporary defense. So if we rerun this program, now that all bugs are fixed, if we press defend, then it said the enemy hit the hero for 0 damage, just like they did.